Hey yo, what is good everybody? It is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video. It's been a little minute since I made a YouTube video, honestly. I really just been chilling. I don't really know what I'm gonna talk about this video. I honestly don't know why I'm making this video. Well, I kind of do. It's gonna be like an update video, me just talking really. Um, so yeah, just like a little update on how I'm doing. I did put up that video a couple months back of the why I quit smoking weed video. And since then, well, as of June 12th, I believe, uh, yeah, I knew the number in my head before I started, but I just want to double check. But yeah, I've been 4 months sober from weed now, so pretty much like everything I say in the video, I've been more at peace. I get things done. I don't really have a wanting to smoke weed no more, honestly. Saved a lot of money not smoking as well. Just kind of been a breeze without the weed, man, you feel me? And during this time I do see a lot of people kind of struggling with weed, but that's not anything for me to get into. I just know that me personally, I'm 4 months clean. I hope you all are sober however long you are. If you only made it a week and you got back into it, and then you did it 2 weeks, and then you got back into it, and you tried to be clean and you made it 3 weeks, however long you were clean, man, pat yourself on the back. As long as you're trying to keep going, that's all that really matters. Another thing I wanted to talk about, how God says, like, he puts you through the fire to test your faith. I didn't really understand that verse, right? Until like the other day, like the revelation kind of hit. And it's really like, last year when the pandemic first started, right? Like I said, I was still smoking weed. I was trying to stop. I knew that, the CV-19 virus may have come from a, lab versus, nature. And, I was telling people that early on, and they were like, nah, you're foolish. You don't know anything. I was telling them, Trump, he was really, for America. He had the border in good raps. They were like, no, he's racist. Biden's going to do better with the border. They, talked about Trump doing all these different things and everything like that. And it's just like, as time has gone on, for a long time when it came to most of these conspiracy theories and things like that, it's like I started to feel crazy at some point because, like I said, like when I went to the polls to go vote, I was gonna, cave into social pressure and, vote for Biden or whatever. But, the Lord told me, I don't know, I can't say for anybody else, but he hinted to me that that wasn't the best choice for us to make and for me to go the opposite direction. And, I used to not listen to the Lord. Like the Lord tells you stuff, and, before you know him, you'd be like, I don't know, I don't really trust that, and you do what you want to do, and it ended up being like, why'd you do that? So I had gotten to the point where I was tired of like not listening. Even if it wasn't something that I agreed with, I was just tired of not listening. So I ended up voting for Trump. Told some people, I lost a lot of friends. A lot of people started thinking I was crazy. They thought that I was just doing stuff just trying to be different, and it's like I really wasn't. Like I was just trying to be obedient, right? So, I lost friends. People said I was crazy. People said, you're tripping. Selection wasn't stolen, things like that. And for a long time, like I said, I thought I was crazy. I was like, man, like, is it me? Like, maybe I am tripping. Like, as time goes on, maybe I am tripping. And then, like, as 2020 started coming to a close and we went into 2021, and it's like everything's now being revealed, like, Fauci, Trump being right, the origins of COVID, just different things, like, the riots that are happening in these different places, how police officers and riot squads are quitting, how Biden thinks he's so superior and he's so alpha, and Vladimir Putin makes him look weak and makes America look weak, and Biden really has none of us in his good right mind. The border's a mess. You got Kamala, who won't visit the border, but on June 30th, Trump's gonna be at the border before she gets there. which is only just going to, people are either A, going to say Kamala's not doing her job, or B, they're going to say Trump's trying to show her up and he's not even president no more. Why is he down there? I guarantee it. I've also seen where, critical race theory is trying to be taught, which I don't believe in at all. I'm also seeing where, like, when Biden gets up on the podium, he has these cards that he reads off, and all of the talking points are like anti-Trump talking points. Like, they're like, tell them Trump did this, or, go against what Trump said here. And I just want to ask you all a question. Like I said, I'm just rambling. There's no reason why I'm making this video, but why do y'all really trust a president who, anytime he gets in front of the mic and someone asks him a question, he says, man, I really shouldn't be answering this question, I might get in trouble? Like, bro, grow up. Like, grab your balls, grow up. You're the president. No one should tell you what you want to say. They should give you ideas and opinions on, I think you should stay away from this, I think you shouldn't talk about that. But you're a grown man. Say what you want to say. And if they got something to say for it, they could tell you after you finish talking. You feel me? If I was president and I felt like getting something out, whether my team or whatever cared or didn't want me to say it, I'm saying it. What you mean? I might get in trouble if I say this. What it's like telling me is like, is this man really in charge? Like, who is really in charge of this man? He's just up here repeating verbal garbage. Then, with all these politicians, I've just gotten over, like, I've kind of, to be honest, I've kind of dissociated from a lot of this stuff in this world. Like how when God says, you're in the world but not of this world, I really see what he was talking about, because it's like I dissociated from so much. Like, I don't use Twitter. I don't use my Tumblr like that anymore, because last week that just passed, I felt like I should have been fasting from social media. That's just what I felt like the Lord was telling me, like, fast from social media, because I was getting on there a little, too much. I felt like, even though I rarely get on there. And so I, fasted from social media this week, and it's like that fast kind of made me like dissociate from social media, where I don't really want to use it at all anymore. So I don't really use Instagram, I don't use Tumblr, I don't use Twitter, don't use Snapchat. I just kind of go places now and just take photos on my phone just to have the memories in my phone, and then that's it. I don't need to upload them for anybody. I wasn't uploading stuff for anybody previously, but like, I just don't feel the need to just use social media. Like, I'd rather just be MIA and, drop my YouTube videos or watch YouTube, or, if people need to contact me, they can figure out how to contact me, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I kind of dissociated from that. I dissociated from public, like, not public views, but political views. Like, the whole, if you wear a mask, you must be Republican. If you don't, you're Democrat. The far left, the far right, the conservatives, that sort of thing. Like, I've just dissociated. I'm just kind of at the point where I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of politicians. I just want some people who care about, like, we voted you in power, right? The American people. I just want some people who get stuff done. It doesn't need to be any of the, well, the Republicans said this, so we're going to go against what the Republicans do. And the Democrats said this, so we're going to go against what the Democrats do just because they're Democrat, just because they're Republican. It's like, can we grow up? Like, can we actually get some stuff done? Like, if y'all think about it, if the politicians just put their political agendas or their political sides to the side and just said, you know what, we're going to try to do the best for the American people as possible, so that way they can have things just as easy as we, need it to be. If they just did that, it would be such a better place here in America. But instead, we're playing all these political games. Everything is political. Like, I kid you not, maybe about 4 years ago, like when Trump first probably started taking office, nothing was politicized. Like, you could go to baseball games without being politicized. You could eat, your Aunt and Mama syrup without being politicized. You could just do so much. You'll wear a mask without it being politicized. You could do so much. And now it's just like, everything's politicized. Like, it's just gotten to the point where, I used to feel some type of way, like get mad at people not following the truth. I used to, ask people, like, get mad why people aren't questioning why they're doing stuff. Like, it's like all social pressure, or they're just used to doing it. And it's just like, I've just gotten over it all. Like, if you don't want to use your brain, or you don't want to question anything, or you don't want the truth, then I don't care anymore. I literally don't. I'll just pray for you like I do every night. Pray for the American people to have their eyes open, for the truth to be revealed. That's all I pray for, because it's just like, you can lead, it's like the saying, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. And for some of these people to be able to see what you're saying, whether they like it or not, like I said, I'm the type where even if the truth hurts, whether I like it or not, I'm gonna go with the truth. So it's like, whether they like it or not, it's like you would have to lead the horse to the water and drown it yourself and force it to like drink the water. But when you force it to drink the water, you drown the horse. And it's like, without you drowning the horse on their own, they would never ever come around to the truth. So it is, like I said, I've just dissociated from so much stuff, and I don't see that as a bad thing either. Like, I just look at it like, that's just comes with the testing of my faith. Like, really, like, back to my first point, like, people thought I was crazy. Now everything's coming out where it's like I wasn't crazy. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm right. I'm just gonna give the glory to God, because he showed me early with, he opened my eyes to the truth early of what's happening around me. And at some point, I did try to tell people, so I am gonna give myself a little bit of credit. Like, I am right just a little bit, but all of the glory is going to God. But yeah, it's like, that was the testing of my faith. Like, that's the revelation that it revealed. And honestly, it's made my faith a lot stronger, because me thinking that I was crazy and, not that I was wrong, but it's like, God, you told me this. Like, I'm standing on what you told me, and it doesn't look like there's anything happening from it. And so through that time, it's like, okay, I'm crazy. I'm still trying to get deeper into our relationship with God. I'm trying to read my Bible. I'm trying to look at, God-related YouTube videos, that sort of thing. And it's like, now that 2021's here and stuff is being revealed, it's like, man, God, like, you really put me through the ringer last year and the beginning of this year. Like, I'm sitting up here taking punches, taking blows, everything. But I'm like, you know what? I'd rather stand with you, God, than stand with what the world or the main majority of the crowd is saying. Like, as crazy as, that looks for people to be like, oh, you just want to be different. You always say crazy stuff. It's like, I'd rather stand with my big homie above any day of the week, any hour, than go with what the majority is saying just because that's what the majority is saying. Like, I've always been the type to say crazy stuff where people are like, yeah, Chad just stands out. Like, Chad is Chad. Like, a lot of people, even when I told them, like I said, I voted for Trump or whatever, they're like, I wasn't even surprised. Like, that's a Chad thing to do. Like, Chad's never been one to just go with what everyone's saying. Like, I used to choose the outlandish options or the crazy stuff. Not even like, oh, I just want to choose it. It's like, that's just where I was. Like, it just made more sense to me not to follow the crowd. Like, no matter how much I wanted to. I don't know if y'all are like this, but since I've been little, anytime I've tried to fit in with the crowd, no matter what it was, it's like, I always seem to either get punished for that, or not even punished like by parents or other people. It's like, I just got punished slick by the Lord, because it's like, he already kind of separated me early on. Like, now that I look back at my life, it's like, he already set me up from the very beginning to like find him. Like, that's what I feel like. Like, when I was like in middle school, or not middle school, like in elementary, I used to tell my parents, like, Mom and Dad, I feel like one day I'm gonna do something really great, and it's gonna touch a lot of lives, and like, that's my whole purpose here. Like, I don't think I'm like one of the types to like, I'll work a 9 to 5 if I need to, to provide for my family or just have some money and stuff like that. But I was like, I feel like my purpose here is so much greater. And then now that I'm into God and Jesus, and I actually am like coming to the revelation, I'm not as, Bible thumping everybody and try to force everybody onto what God was doing for me while he was pruning me and throwing me through the fire. And now I have I'm not saying I have a full understanding, I'm good to go. It's like, I'm still learning every day. But now that I have a better understanding of like what he's like doing, it's like, God's really good. Like, I just sat in my room the other night and I'm like, man, like, God has been so good to me, even though sometimes I've just like thrown him to the side, or sometimes I haven't listened and been obedient. And I'm just like, man, the Lord is so good. Like, I do get excited when the YouTube videos that he wanted me to make are reaching people, and they're like, thank you so much for putting this out there, spreading the knowledge and the truth. And I'm like, you know what, man, all glory to God. And I'm glad you guys tuned in, because I I'm happy with just reaching one soul, man. That's it. Like I don't care to be popular or famous. Like I said, I kind of dissociated from a lot of things where, I'm just a nobody. I'm just here to just tell y'all what God has been, trying to do in my life. And I honestly enjoy doing what God wants me to do. Like, for some reason, I just feel so much more fulfillment when I know, like, I'm reaching souls, helping people with, problems that I had at one time. I still, struggle with some of the stuff that, we all put through these videos and stuff like that. Because, it's a struggle every day. You got to bear your cross every day, man. But it does make me excited because I get way more fulfillment from it. Like, putting out my why I stopped smoking weed video and people relate, and it's like I feel so much better that there are people out there who have gone through the same thing I'm going through, and we kind of it makes you feel like one big family, like we're all in this together. um it doesn't matter if it comes to political views or anything. It's like, when you see the deceit, the lies, everything, it's like, and there are people who see it too. It's like, man, like, I actually have someone who can relate. It's not a lot of people out here who can relate because everybody just goes with the crowd. Back in the day, it used to be like, those who want to stand out, those were the cool kids. Like, for real, those who stood out were doing their own thing, didn't follow the crowd. People noticed them because they were actual humans. They were individuals. Now it's like we've just been like clustered into being like a, what's the word for it? Like a community. It's kind of like China, like a collective conscience type of thing. That's kind of where we're going or where we're headed. And there's only one thing that comes from a collective conscience. You have a collective leader. And that's kind of where not only I see people going, but that's like where I see the world going. Like, when, in the Bible, when it says the Antichrist will be revealed and many will follow him, I used to think like, oh, people will follow him just because, like, they don't know any better. And it's like, at this point, I've realized that the reason people are going to follow the Antichrist is because the Antichrist is like, first off, it's anti-God, but, it's also like, it's the collective conscience. It's what everyone agrees with. Like, those who stand out will be the outcasts, or those will be the ones who realize what's going on and try to warn people. But if you think about it now, if people are already casting out groups of people because they think differently than others, whether you're black, you voted for Trump, and Democrats are like, oh, you're tripping, whether you do A, B, or C and not D and F, it's like the world is heading towards where everybody thinks the same, they all react the same, their emotions are the same, they all agree with the same stuff, they're scared to be themselves. And that's honestly how I see the Antichrist being. Like, he'll come into power and no one will question him. No one will, they will all be like, oh, thank you, thank God for the Antichrist, he's here. Like, they won't even call him the Antichrist, they'll call him God. They'll be like, thank you, God's back, he's going to take care of us all. And it's like, they'll collectively together agree with this. And like I said, I've dissociated from all that. So it's like, whatever the group thinks, I'm not really going with it. Now, there are some group thinks that do make sense to go with because that's just the, truth and the logical option. But most stuff out here that's, what the majority go with, it's like, it's not. And what also is crazy is it feels like what the world is telling us the majority is, like the media, the world, people in the world are telling us the majority is, it really feels like it's the minority, but they're the ones yelling the loudest. It's like, you ever had that kid in class who doesn't, like, it's just doesn't get good grades or anything like that, and well, not even doesn't get good grades and stuff, but it's like the kid in the class who always is a class clown, talks the loudest, yells the loudest, causes the most disruption, and you would think like this whole class is just bad, and it's like it's only him because he's just the loudest in the room. It's kind of like that. It's like the minority is screaming so loud that people are thinking this is what the majority are thinking, and we have to get behind it, otherwise like we're gonna get canceled, we're gonna be looked at funny, we're not gonna have any friends anymore. And it's like they're really the minority, but they're just yelling the loudest. And it's like, I feel like people have been waiting for the majority to speak up. I mean, we have, but it's like, when are we gonna get as loud as the other groups that are like forcing us to try to bow down to their agendas? Like, honestly, if I look at the world as like an agenda, like, okay, the world's an agenda, right? I've dropped out of school. That's how far off I've dissociated from what's going on. It's not like I'm not informed or I'm not anything, but it's like I don't feel no sort of way no more. Like when people say dumb things or they don't question things. Like there was a video where this dude did something about masks and he was like, "Have you been vaccinated?" They're like, "Yeah." He was like, "So why are you still wearing a mask?" Because there's like no science behind you still getting COVID or being able to spread it. And they were like, I'm just wearing it so other people feel safe. And he was like, but the science says, and that's kind of what I've, noticed. It's like science has become people's gods. Like science told them they needed a mask, right? Then science told them they don't need a mask and they're still wearing a mask. And it's like, do you truly believe the science you're told? Or now that they switched up so much, you're questioning it. It's like you have to choose a side. Either you're going to be science 100% and do exactly what it says, or you're not. And even one dude in the video, he was like, you know, why are you still wearing a mask? And he was like, I'm protesting the right to not wear a mask. And it's like, what, bro? Like, the science told you to wear a mask. Now the science says don't wear a mask, and you're protesting the right. So he's protesting basically them saying you don't have to wear a mask anymore. So he's going to wear his. You know how dumb that sounds? And then other people were like, yeah, I just wear it because other people are. And the dude in the video was like, yo, just take off the mask. Take it off. Take it off. And then they caved to the social pressure of him making them take off the mask. And it's like, it's made me realize that these people do not think for themselves. Like, there are a lot of people out here who are covering up the fact that they don't think for themselves. Like, people hit me up and be like, oh, you're a free thinker. You have an open mind. And it's like, it's not even that, bro. It's just like I think for myself. I don't need anybody to think for me. Like, what do I need people to think for me for? What? That's lame. Like, my 11th grade AP US history teacher told me. He said, guys, if you all don't get anything from this class, whether it's history, whether it's about anything I told you, he said, there's one thing in life: don't be a lame. And that right there has stuck with me my entire life. And not even lame like I have to fit in with the crowd. Like, don't be a lame. Like, not thinking for yourself is lame. Following the crowd is lame. Like, I don't understand how people don't see that. Like, that's common sense right there. And so, shout out to Coach Hanahan, my US history teacher, my AP US history teacher. Gotta make sure you throw the AP part in there. Gotta let y'all know I'm smart. Even though I felt like I was smarter not going to school than I was in school. Like, especially college. College was a waste of time and energy, but I mean, I got the degree, but I didn't learn anything there. I just learned how to survive on my own, how to think for myself. That's all I learned from college. And I think that's the only reason I went, because even before college, I was like, I don't really think I need to go. Like, I don't think that's my purpose, but I finished it, it's over with, and I gained valuable lessons throughout the entire span of college. Yeah, man, I've just been rambling this video. It's just some stuff I was thinking about the other day. Like, God really he really put me through the fire. He really tested my faith, and I could have gave up on him, but I stayed down for the homie. And he's like revealing it all now, like a lot of revelation. Like, it was good for them to call you crazy, Chad. It was good for your friends not to be your friends, because you know what that showed me? It's like, you can do this on your own. You need friends. It's good to have friends, but you don't need friends for you to survive. You don't need people who think like, the truth isn't the truth. They don't want to believe you. You don't need that. Like, I'm not saying I could do this all on my own, but with God, just with God and with me, we can get through it together. He put me through the fire. He tested my faith, and it's come out even stronger than before. I mean, there are some days that I catch myself still being like, am I crazy? Like, God, like I'll be looking right to the side like, yo, God, like, my boy, like, is this real? Or is this really happening? And I'll be like, am I crazy? You know how sometimes like you've been in lies so long that when you come to the knowledge of Jesus and God, and it's so easy, like it was such an easy concept and such an easy thing to see, like, this is the truth, that you almost question yourself sometimes, like, bro, this world is honestly crazy. Like, I feel like I'm living in a twilight zone sometimes, because it's like there's so many lies out here, and then Jesus is the truth, and it's like, well, am I living in a fantasy world with Jesus too? Not saying that like I don't believe in Jesus, but I'm just like, God, this is crazy. Like, big homie, like, I know you're real and I know you're gonna come back one day, and I know the world is literally playing out exactly what you said in the Bible. Like, it's too apparent now. If people don't believe it, they choose not to, because everything the Bible has said is coming true. Everything. Like, I kid you not, it's like literally the book that's like a fortune teller book, right? And I'm just like, man, like, this is honestly crazy. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I feel like I'm living in the Matrix, and the answer is just Jesus. And it's like people just don't get around to it. But all I can do is just keep spreading the good news, keep dropping the videos he wants me to drop. But yeah, man, it's just like God's just been super good to me. Um, he does test your faith all the time. Um, and yeah, he's gonna get you to where you need to go. He's gonna lead you to the promised land. Like, he's gonna lead you, not to hurt you, not to harm you, but he's gonna lead you to good. Like, he that dude. Like, when I get to heaven, I'm gonna be like, man, God, I'm like, my boy, like, you my boy, man. Like, you did it for us, man. Sent your son down here for us to believe in him, and you working it all out for our good. Like, I just really want to be, I just really want to do my part here on earth. And when I get up to heaven, everything I did, all my rewards, like, I just want my rewards in heaven. I don't even care for the rewards. That's just a bonus. I really just want to get to heaven and just be chill. Like, man, God, like, it was a test. It really was, but I'm glad I passed. Like, especially when he comes back for us, I just want to come back through the clouds with the army, and I can wear my little angel outfit or my white robe and everything, and fight them demons that are down here on earth. Like, I really can't wait, man, because I would be going crazy on them demons, man. Like, they would be like, man, Chad, he not playing around. Like, this boy came prepared. If I'm doing it for the Lord, I'm finna go hard. But yeah, man, it's been your boy Chad. I hope y'all watch this video, or like this video. If you've been feeling the same way, leave a comment down below. I do want to thank everybody that's recently subscribed to my channel, or just watching my videos in general. All glory to God that you all have been reached and you all are now part of the community. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the video and everything like that. And I'm out. Peace.